Hello friends and welcome to this video. What we will see in this video is how to create business comparisons with goals in HubSpot, but through Power BI. This will allow us to essentially compare businesses in terms of periods, in terms of users, or business owners. For example, if we want to know how much Juan has in his sales goals for the seventh month of this year, we'll be able to see that in a Power BI chart. And we'll be able to compare the goal with the current number of businesses. For this, we'll have several considerations. First, to simplify the report, what we've done is consider the total value of businesses regardless of the stage or phase they're in. This is in a more advanced version of the report. You should consider this when reviewing. Additionally, the goals are implemented in a Google spreadsheet. We'll see that shortly. Also, keep in mind that to connect Power BI to HubSpot, we are using the open source connector we developed, which is freely available on our GitHub site. I'll show you the link and leave it in the video description. Furthermore, the measures we are using are explained in a previous video, which I also link in the description. Regarding the connector, how to implement the Power BI connector for HubSpot, it's also covered in a previous video, which I'll link in the description of this video so you can follow along with everything we'll see next. So let's move on to see the report. Alright, here on the screen, you're already seeing the report. As I mentioned, this report is based on a previous video we made. So if you want a detailed explanation of all the visualizations in the data model, how we implemented the measures to review in order to implement this report, you can find it in the description below. What we will do now is quickly review the data model, where we have the sales goals coming from this Google spreadsheet file. Here we have the deals, the calendar, and the owners. We'll compare them by calendar, meaning by date, and also we'll compare them by owner. And here we have the relationship also between deals and the companies and the sales quotas. So let's go back to the report view. And what do we have here? As I mentioned, this report is explained in more detail in the other video, but I'll focus on the column chart and the matrix visualization. Here we have that the light blue color represents the total goal. The dark blue represents the actual amount achieved. For example, in 2023, we were below the goal. In 2024, we were above it. On the other hand, the orange bar represents last year. That is, this for example is last year we had 335,000, which is what is represented in here. And for 2025, we are below the goal, as you can see here. It's important to note that this represents businesses that take a long time to close, around a year and a half, which are significant deals we're working on. But what we need to do for 2025 in order to achieve this goal is increase the number or the value of opportunities. Remember that businesses, deals, opportunities are synonymous in CRMs. If we have 10 businesses, it's possible that some of those 10 businesses increase in value, and in parallel, it's also possible that we create more businesses in HubSpot or both. But what do we have here? In this case, for 2025, the goal is 600,000, just like every other year. In this case, we've simplified the report to be 600K every year. So let's see the Google Sheet. As I explained in the previous video, here we can see three different columns, which are period, the user, and the quota. This column also refers to the sales goals that we have for every user or every salesman. We can see here that for 2023, from January to December, Max had a quota of $10,000, as well as Sally. She also had the same quota for the year 2023. The same as Sarah, she has the quota of $10,000, as well as Chris. And Will had a different quota, which is $5,000 for the entire 2023. And also we can see the quota for Jim and the other salesman that we have in this sheet. So let's go back to the Power BI report. Then let's see how we modify this to achieve the goal. We'll go with the simple case where we'll increase the value of each of these opportunities. Okay, so we have Chris for 2025 had a goal of 120,000, but he only has 50,000, which corresponds approximately to 41.67%. So we'll go to HubSpot. Here we have a Reddit filter to show us all the businesses whose close date is next year. Okay, so we can see in this case that Chris only has 50,000. So let's modify it to 200K. Then we click on save. Okay, let's update the Power BI report and bring in details from HubSpot. Here we can see that this blue bar grew up a bit. In this case, Chris would be above the goal for the opportunities created for 2025. Remember, this isn't a report of completed sales, but of expected opportunities I have for the future. So now let's go with Max. He has the same quota as Chris, but he only has made on the total deals column, he only has 100K. And let's also modify the total deals for Sarah from 75,000 to 200,000. With these changes, we'll reach the defined goal, which is 600,000. So let's go back to HubSpot, and here we have the amount for the deal of Sarah. So now I will modify it to 200,000 and we'll click on save. We also have to modify the amount of the deals for Max. So let's change this 25,000 to 100K and this other amount for 100K too. And we'll click on save. So now let's go back to the Power BI report and let's click on refresh the data for the deals data set. And just like that, we reach the goal. It's important to note that the other salespeople, for example, Jim, Sally, and will have no sales, but we have the same value in terms of the opportunity for the goal of 2025 as the actual value of generated businesses. Remember, this doesn't correspond to completed sales because that likely comes from an invoicing module. There are opportunities or deals that I expect to win. So these goals are based on that, on the businesses. Okay, well, I'll leave the link to the connector in the description of the video. You can also check it here on our GitHub site. And remember that in the video description, um, the video that will be linked there explains how to implement this connector. In other words, how to connect HubSpot to Power BI using this connector, which is open source, so there's no license cost. You can download it from our GitHub site and using with no additional costs. Well, friends, I hope this video has helped you understand how to implement business goals in HubSpot using Power BI. If you need more information, here are our contact details at Audox Ingeniería. If you liked the video, don't forget to give us a like, subscribe to our channel, hit the bell icon, leave us your comments, and share the video with whoever you think might find it useful. See you in the next video, and until then, bye bye.